Welcome along to episode 818 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. Coming up on the show this week, we'll be finding out all about Handbagged, which is at the Grand Theatre from the 27th of Feb through to the 1st of March, as we have a chat with Morag. Welcome along to episode 818 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, we'll be having a bit of a natter with Morag Cross. She is part of the cast of Handbagged, which is at the Grand Theatre from the 27th of Feb through to the 1st of March. We'll be catching up with Gary A. Wales to find out about his forthcoming parachute jump for raising funds for Alzheimer's UK. Beau Bowen will be along with their latest song, as will Wesson, as we chat with both of the bands and find out all about their music. Plus, Sam Rabone is going to be letting us know what's going on with his Big Bostin Variety Show, which is back at the Garrick in March. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
Handbagged is at the Grand Theatre from the 27th of February through to the 1st of March. And it's looking at what might have gone on behind closed doors. The Queen, Margaret Thatcher, a time in our lives. What was going on? We don't really know, but it's going to be sort of surmised. Morag Cross is here to tell what it's like being Mrs. T. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Very, very well. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you along. So tell us a bit more about the show.
It's a fun play that explores the 80s basically, and Moira Buffini, the playwright, sort of imagines what the Queen and Margaret Thatcher's relationship might have been like behind closed doors.
Because the Queen was always very involved with her prime ministers, wanted to know what was going on, looking through those little red boxes which gave them details of government. And obviously, from someone who was really the first woman of Britain for so long in the shape of the Queen, to then bring on the first female prime minister, which was long overdue, an amazing combination of power.
Exactly, yes. I mean, to have these two incredibly powerful women is just such an exciting subject to explore. And the fact that the Queen always sort of says, she can't get involved in politics, and yet obviously there's influence that she has behind the scenes. There's a very sort of diplomatic and soft influence that she had. And obviously Margaret Thatcher is an extremely controversial figure at the time and still now. She completely divides people. So it's an exciting part to play in this show.
Absolutely. And whilst many people were not as well off as they felt they could have been due to Thatcher and her policies, I think, having sort of seen the tail end of the 70s, I was born in 72, so I saw some of what was going on. The very much of the feel was we wouldn't have had the positivity in the nation we had in the 90s into the noughties if it hadn't been for Thatcher and what happened then. And whilst we know the miners were in a bad situation, so many people suffered, but equally it's sort of shaped the world that we know now, and you can't imagine a place without this having happened. And looking at what might have gone on behind the scenes is an amazing idea. I mean, this is more realistic than The Crown, basically, I think, isn't it?
I mean, maybe it is maybe a bit more real, but there's still it's still imagined. So the playwright is still coming up with lines that probably weren't said, and there's a definite playful attitude where we sort of subvert things, or we're a bit cheeky with things, or well, basically we have two people playing Thatcher and two people playing the Queen. And so it's quite nice that we can then disagree with each other or support each other during the play with whatever we're saying.
Yeah, because it's not officially Margaret Thatcher, the Queen. It's T, Q, Mags and Liz.
Exactly. So we sort of pull elements, obviously. We make them recognizable. We look like them, we sound like them, but obviously they are characters in a play. And so the director Alex was very keen on sort of reassuring us that we can feel the freedom of being a character, and sort of making sure we're not just doing an impression of them, so that we try to make them three-dimensional and human as well.
Well, I love the sound of it. And of course, it's going to appeal mostly to those who were there or around at the time or remember. I should never ask someone their age, really. We know your playing age is in this one. It's Thatcher in the 80s. But uh,
Yes.
you seem quite young. I don't think you were around for much of this, were you?
Well, I was actually. I was born in '76, so yes, I can remember the '80s, and I can remember Thatcher, and I can remember, like lots of friends of mine were discussing the other evening, what we were doing when we remember Thatcher resigning, and I can remember being in a science lesson, I think, when the science teacher came in with the news. So yes, so I do remember the '80s very much, and our
Right.
audience is so far, yeah, they lots of them have been older, so they will remember. But we've had quite a lot of young people in as well, who, I mean, it's quite a fascinating time in history, really, the '80s. So much
Mhm.
happened politically, and and also there's a sort of a cultural interest with young people in the '80s with the music and everything, and we've got music injected into the show as well, which sort of lightens everything too.
Well, it sounds like an amazing experience to be part of. I mean, as you mentioned, where were you when Thatcher resigned? I was sat in a corridor at university on whatever afternoon it was, up in Liverpool.
Yeah.
So as the news came through on the radio, as these things did, right, it wasn't messages on our phones. It was, a conversation as it spread around. And again, this I'm sure is part of the story, in as much as the communication was very different of its age, and there was these partying cleaners running up and down the corridor at university, going how pleased they were, because obviously Liverpool suffered very much so at the hands of the policies that were in place at the time. So it's going to have something which is, as you say, social history to many, living memory for parents and grandparents at the very least, and on top of that, the entertainment value, the conversational side of the two versions of each of these fantastic female leaders, and I think it's going to be inspiring, isn't it? And even though it may, yeah, reflect the course of history, it is going to still put a smile on our faces.
Yes, I think so. Hopefully, I mean, it's very funny, but also it's thought-provoking as well. And as you say, for some of the older audience members, it will be a sort of memory of like, oh my goodness, that happened then as well. What a huge thing to have happened. Um, and also, friends of mine who saw it the other day as well were saying that even having the younger and older Margaret Thatcher and the younger and older Queen is quite a nice reflection of how we view memory and how we see things that happened in our youth, and and how, yeah, how differently we might remember things to the actual truth. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on for provoke thought.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to admit, I do enjoy hearing about the papers that get released 30, 40, 50 years on from the sort of events that were taking place. And, that gives us some of the background, but this has given us a playful look at the interaction of, two very powerful women very different ways.
Exactly. Yes. And there's there's mention in the play of sort of secrets that were held for 30 or 40 years that then have been, a common knowledge now. And yeah, and it sort of also reflects the politics of the world now. We suddenly sort of see cycles. I feel like politics sort of happens in, I don't know if it's cycles of 30 years or what the actual theory is, but there are so many, the language that's being used nowadays is so similar to what we're talking about from the '80s. And that as well, I think, is probably going to chime with audiences too.
Mhm. And it's always interesting when any party's in power for an amount of time, suddenly there's always self-destructive or press-related stories which seems to bring down and change governments. It's almost as if no one is allowed to be there for that long. And of course, Margaret Thatcher was at the time the longest-serving British Prime Minister, something that was then taken over by Blair. And to have two politicians so close together in that, and then for so far apart, the two shortest serving British prime ministers. One was, more than a century ago, and the latest in our lifetimes. It is an unusual world of politics in the UK, and I think it certainly deserves a bit of fun poking at it sometimes, even though it is a very serious subject.
Yeah. It's always good. I think political satire in whatever form is always good. We need it. We can't not be creative and expressive and challenging. We have to keep challenging with all of the arts, I think.
Absolutely. And it's the importance that the art is there to reflect this and so give us those thought provoking moments. So, this is a fly on the wall look at what might have happened, possibly. Maybe between Queen Elizabeth and Margaret Thatcher, and of course, as you said, told between two pairs of players, bringing T, Q, Mags, and Liz to life, alongside a supporting cast and ensemble, and some absolutely amazing comedy to bring this to life. I think this is well worth getting to see. You're biased because you're part of it, but this sounds amazing to me. I'm very much looking forward to seeing this show.
It's a really, really fun evening. I would heartily recommend it to anyone. Do come along. And obviously, the Wolverhampton Grand is a gorgeous theatre. So, what a lovely space to do it in, to see it in.
Suitably regal to enjoy the majesty of Her
Yeah.
Majesty. So that will work well. Grandtheatre.co.uk to get your tickets or give the box office a call on 01902 429212. Get yourself along there. It is the 27th of February through to the 1st of March. So it all gets going on a Thursday night and then takes us through into the weekend. So take a look at it and see how you can be part of history with a smile on your face and see how it might have been behind the scenes at the Buckingham Palace and 10 Downing Street back in the day. Maura Cross, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jason. Lovely to meet you.
Beau Bowen, I've got a brand new song out. It's called Hits Different, and they join me now to tell me more. Hello, gang.
Hello.
Hey there.
How's it all going? Obviously, fresh from the success of the Christmas song, and now we're back into your more mainstay of your usual music.
Well, it is we're about, I don't know, 10 songs in front of Hits Different now in our heads, because of course, you're always planning things in advance. But yes, on the odd occasion we do listen back to Hits Different to remind us that we have just released it, which is fantastic, isn't it? So it was great fun. It was fantastic to record and shoot the music video for it. It's a really fun thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Really good.
Okay, so who's been doing the bulk of the? I'm just going to carry on regardless. If they look at each other, this is the joys of you two being a couple. You know what each other are thinking. That's the fun of it too. So
It is funny.
So tell us a bit about the writing on this.
It is always 50-50. I mean, we are each other's sort of answering questions type thing musically, aren't we? I mean,
yeah, Montgomery wrote the bulk of the music, and I think I wrote the bulk of the lyrics, and so it's a good a good team.
And then we obviously refine it together. But it's we always work incredibly hard on the songs and on the production and everything, because we produce all of our own records as well. We always have. Mm-hmm. So we've both got an uber critical eye, really, haven't we? So that's how we always get the work to the greatest standard it can be. And then, of course, you've got to get to that point where you have to say goodbye to it, in terms of, right, well, that's finished now. We have to move. You know what I mean? Because you could just keep tweaking and tweaking. But yeah, it's a great process.
But it's all a labour of love and something which you truly believe in. You are fantastic on the way you work on these things together. I love it. I love the look as well, and that's something I think which is as big a part of this as the music, isn't it? I mean, you have definitely got a brand.
Yeah, to an extent, and also a live spectacle. That's certainly what I think about quite a lot. And we work to develop, and through that, the image is developed.
Yeah, because I mean, you even for people who aren't necessarily musical or they enjoy music, but it's more visual. So what we want to do is push to cater for all. So if people aren't necessarily musical, but they love going along to a show, if you've got everything on the visual aspect down, then people can pinpoint and go, God, I really, really, you know what I mean? So you leave you can't leave anything out. And I think, because we design everything ourselves, you get even more of what we are. We push ourselves to design the clothes, to design the sort of colours that we think the music is.
Pink and blue cassette tapes all over an outfit. I mean, that surprised me when I saw the music video.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. And in fact, you never know what's going to come next.
Yeah. Well, I think, well, that's it. Well, I think as well, you have to keep it fresh, don't you? I mean, people always say you're only as good as your last gig, but I say you're only as good as your next gig, because once you've executed something and then you move on to the next, you know, you always have to be fresh. You always have to be current. And so that's a big thing as well. The music, writing the music is actually the easy bit. It's everything else that comes with it, you know, that, you know, refining the product, you know, because often we'll have it where we start writing something and we're in love with what we're doing, and it's obviously an exciting process, but it's, you know, when we're composing, we can hear it in our inner ear as the finished product. But of course, you then have to work through. So you have to record the bass, you have to record the synth, you have to record the drums. You know, you have to do all of that to get to what you already hear in your head. So what did the Eskimos say? The art's already in the paper. You know, you just need to get there. You know.
Well,
You've heard that. You've heard that saying.
Well, in the case, your case, it could be using a theremin, or you could be dancing around a drum kit. Who knows what is going to happen in the look, the sound, and the magic that comes to the stage when you're out on the road too. Because I mean, I note you haven't come to the Midlands in this next tour, which is coming up in April. You're doing very much the right-hand side of the country. We'd love to see you in the middle or on the left, just so we can come along.
Oh, it's got to happen.
Well, yeah, we may have a Birmingham show coming up soon.
Well, we're going to keep you. We'll put you on the guest list. You're coming, aren't you?
That sounds. I think that sounds like I am definitely turning up to this gig. I want to.
I want you at the front. I want you at the front.
I'm not sure I can dance in the mosh pit, but I will certainly. I'm always happy to stand just to the right of the stage and see what's going on with the rest of the crowd as well. So that's always good.
Yeah.
I want to access all areas, to be fair.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, definitely. Birmingham awaits us. Yeah, we're in the process actually of sorting that out. You know how it is. But yeah, and you'll be able to see the spark in action as well, the guitar.
Well, this is it. Again, it's another big part of the look. You need
Uh,
to check this out. You need to check out the video. Just look on YouTube. It's there. Hits different. The official music video. Beau Bowen is what you're looking for, and it's. I think Enigma covers off you two guys working together. CJ Monty. It's more than just your names, isn't it? Beau Bowen is a way of life.
It is a way of life, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, life consuming, certainly.
Oh, it's certainly life consuming, and you know, it's enriching because we are each other's greatest fans and each other's greatest critics. So, you know, we're not afraid of the vulnerability that we have with one another when we're writing, and, you know, whether one likes what one's doing or not, or the other. But the way the musical language that we have together is as one. I still haven't worked out who's the Beau and who's the Bowen, but, you know, we are as one. And there's nobody in the world that I would want to work on music with other than my husband. So I'm so grateful, and it is a remarkable connection because it is something that's quite rare. And, you know, everything happened at once, the love, the music, but I knew that he was the missing link. And you felt very much the same way, didn't you? It was just this meeting of this familiarity of, oh, that's the sound I've been looking for. And then when we came together, all of this incredible creativity, you know, it was just amazing. And we've got, as I say, a lot of stuff in the bag. Of course, you know, there are always strategic releases, you know, that you do and that you release to the public at certain times. But we have a backlog of incredible records and concept albums that we just can't wait to share with you and the rest of the world.
Yeah, and a whole new exciting live show as well, with
Yeah.
all sorts of theatrics, all sorts of surprises that will be coming up this year.
And working on larger classical works as well. And some things that I've been writing very much for CJ, and how he plays the guitar, the vocality, the lyrical aspect of his playing. You know, I often feel like your guitar sounds like my voice. That when I'm singing high and you're playing high, the vibratos are very similar. You know, it's like one voice. And then, of course, we've got the theremin as well. But we're working on numerous projects at the moment.
Well, long may that continue.
I can't wait for you to hear it.
I'm looking forward to it. We're going to listen to Hits Different now. Meanwhile, though, beaubowen.com, BEABOWEN.com. What's the socials?
At Beau Bowen are we. So BEAUBOWENAREWE. So at Beau Bowen are we. That's the same username across the board, isn't it?
Give it a search. Go and look at it. Listen to it. Experience it. Immerse yourself in Beau Bowen. Become part of the whole experience. You are phenomenal. I look forward to seeing you, hopefully in the not too distant future in Brum. We will come along. We'll do an interview at the gig as well. I look forward to doing that, and we'll have a bit of a natter in real life. That'd be fun.
Sounds wicked.
We've got a Beau Bowen t-shirt for you.
That sounds good to me. I like the idea. Thank you very much. I will see you soon.
Thank you. See you soon.
Cheers.
Lots of love.
It's big, it's Boston, it's a variety night. It involves Sam Rabone, and it's back in March at the Lichfield Garrick. Mr. Rabone is here with me now to tell me what he's doing. Hello.
All right, Bab.
You're right.
Yeah, I thought I'd get the branding in early today. I normally try and slip it in somewhere, but I thought I'd go straight in
That
with
works.
the Boston branding.
So tell us what you have in store for this latest variety experience.
What's a good question? It's a very good leading question, and I'm trying to keep it variety. I'm trying to keep it different. Every single Boston Variety show, I'm trying to find new acts from up my sleeve. And this one, I feel I've pulled out of her bag because I've got a man that is renowned as being possibly the world's greatest variety performer. That's what it says on his website, and I have seen him, and I have to tend to agree with him. He's amazing. Matt Ricardo. He is from America's Got Talent. He's literally one of the best variety acts on the circuit at the moment. He's so talented, and I can't wait for you to see him. I've got the sons of Bobby Ball, the incredible Harper brothers, are coming to join us. I used to have these join us at Pontins. These,
They.
yeah,
Well,
I used to have them.
give them some interesting pronouns.
These two lads. They're from the north. They're funny, and I mean, you know that they're the sons of Bobby Ball. They're going to be funny. So we've got the sons of Bobby Ball and the Harper brothers, who, as I say, I used to get at Pontins, and I can't wait. It's our first double act we've had on the bill. I've got star of TV and screen and stage. I've got Hilary O'Neill. She's a top female comedian and impressionist. So I'm really excited to have Hilary on. Just bash myself. I've been really, really trying to get Hilary to do the show for ages, and she finally agreed. And then singing sensation, you might have seen her in Goldilocks at the Hippodrome Panto. I've got Samantha Dorrance joining us. So Samantha, West End star, she did Dreamboats and Petticoats. Goldilocks, as I say, in Goldilocks and the Three Bears at the Hippodrome. She's been at the Shrewsbury Panto. I've never managed to get to her at the Lichfield Panto, but Samantha Dorrance will be joining us on stage as well. So that's the lineup: Matt Ricardo, Harper Brothers, Hilary O'Neill, Samantha Dorrance, and me. And this year, I've managed to sneak into my suitcase some prizes I've brought back from Australia. So I've got actual down there, but I'm not going to show you. I don't want to give it away. I've got authentic Australian prizes to give away.
Okay, this sounds absolutely amazing. It is Sunday the 16th of March. It is 7 p.m. It is already selling massively well, so get in there fast for your tickets.
Yes, please do.
Because these events are always popular. I mean, I would say I'm amazed, but I've seen the rest of the lineup other than you. And it is well worth getting to every single one of them, isn't it?
It is. You've seen the rest of the lineup other than me. No, you've only seen me.
Well, no, in real life. No, actually, I think I'm Facebook friends with Samantha Dorrance, so there you there's a thing. But no, the lineups are always phenomenal.
Yes, it's something I work on. So singing. We've got that, like proper good variety. We've got comedy, we've got impressions and prizes, and all for £19, which is cheap. It's really, really cheap. We say it's fun for the whole family, but we sort of push for over 8. Really, we don't think it's. Because it's Sunday night, sort of over 8, over 10, we think that's so like the older end of the family spectrum is what we would like to come and join us. And we work into 2.5 hours, so it should be done, wrapped up and ready to go home by 9:30 in the evening. I've got a little light that I flash to make sure these acts, because they're so good, you do want them to keep going, but I have to flash a little light to make sure they finish and get off the stage, because we need to get them all on.
Absolutely, and it's about having fun, and I absolutely love the fact that we have a variety show that is alive and well, and obviously it is selling, and people keep coming back to because they know it's all about the branding, isn't it, and the fact there's bags and mugs and stuff and t-shirts,
bags and mugs and what else have I got? I can't know what else. I've got Australian merchandise, not merchandise, just Australian prizes from actual Australia down under. So that is also very exciting. And you said something but because variety shows, there aren't that many of them. There's the ones at the end of the piers. There's really great, and I love them. There's great burlesque nights around in the area, but there isn't a true variety show, I don't think, in the area at the moment. So I think we're one of the only ones.
Yeah, you go to the Garrick, you select what's on. You've got your own category, filter by variety, and there's a thing on there.
So this is fun for, as I said, not quite the whole family, but most of the family. It's sort of my normal panto audience.
It's for all the family who have an attention span.
Yes. Yeah. There's no swearing, there's no naughtiness, there's nothing, but it's slightly later on a Sunday, so that's the reason, really.
Yeah. Leave the little ones at home to watch, I don't know, it's Country File or something, and then bring everybody else to enjoy the magic of the variety show.
Yes, please do, because we spent a lot of money on my sign. We need to pay that off.
It is a good sign as well.
It's a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a good sign of a great show. And this is exactly what it will be. As you say, it is Sunday, the 16th of March, 7 p.m. Sam Rainbow's Big Bostin Variety Show. 01543 412121, lichfieldgarrick.com to grab your tickets that way. And there'll be no doubt a meet and greet where they can actually like touch the amazing Sam Raybone at the end of the event.
Well, I might pop out, especially if somebody offers to buy me a drink. Nobody ever buys drinks anymore. Like, get me a drink, I'll pop out afterwards. That's what I say. Lure me out with a cheeseburger or something. I'm like a bear in hibernation. Lure me out on the stage and I'll come down and greet you.
And selfies, there'll be selfies. And you never know whatever state of facial hair he's going to have at the time either. Depends on what gig he's got.
Yes, it really does. Because we've got just after that, we'll probably have to talk about this as well. Not now, but we'll schedule a chat in because just after my Big Bostin Variety Show, we go into rehearsals for the Pocket Dream.
Of course, yeah. Well, there's you and Ben Thornton in that one, and I have got a request in for an interview on that.
Yeah, me, Ben Thornton, and 4 yet to be known people. They might have cast them now, but I've been out the country for a month, so I'm a bit out the loop. But yeah,
you haven't been in Australia or anything, have you?
I have been to Australia. Thanks for asking. I nearly got caught in a tsunami, but I am a cyclone, not a tsunami, a cyclone. But we escaped. The one place we went, I mean, we think a bit of rain here is bad. As I drove through one place, 2 days after that, over the course of 3 days, they had 2 meters of rain in 3 days. It's bonkers. So I managed to escape. I'm back. I'm ready to go. So yes, the Pocket Dream will start just after the Big Bostin Variety Show. It's written up by Sandy Toksvik. It's got me and Ben Thornton in, and 4 yet to be known people. So who knows who might else turn up?
That's all good. You can check that out on the Lichfield Garrick website as well, lichfieldgarrick.com. You can do that. For now, Sam Raybone, always a pleasure to speak to you. Looking forward to seeing the show, hopefully, and we'll just know you're going to be keeping variety alive for the people of Lichfield and beyond.
Yes, muchas gracias, and let us keep variety alive. Thank you, Jason.
Now, Wesson are making waves on the internet and beyond. CDs are plenty going out the door as a growing fan base are getting used to their music, and they've been popping up on people's timelines across the UK. I'm joined by 3 of their number now to tell us more about the music. Hi, boys. How you doing?
Hello.
Hey,
Jason. Yeah, good, thank you.
So we've got the glamorous side of things, haven't we, with you 3?
That's right.
We like to think so.
So give us the lineup and tell us who's found better things to do than talk to me.
Okay, so from, I suppose is that your left or your right?
By the time the internet's finished with it, I've no idea. That's my right at the moment, but it might be left.
This is Dale, who's our drummer, backing vocal, songwriter. I'm Chris. I'm a songwriter, singer, guitarist. Dale, that's Dale.
Dale again.
Another Dale. This is Callum. Callum is the bass player, one of the producers in the band, singer, multi-talented, basically.
He's double-barreled and everything, isn't he, Callum?
He's crazy. Yeah.
Afraid so.
It's a big show.
So how long have you boys been playing together?
Like 4
years.
4.5 years. Because it'd be
Wow.
It was August 2020, right?
Yeah.
The beginning, or like September 2020. So it'd be like, almost 5 years some point this year.
Yeah, so we're like a lockdown band, I guess.
But you knew each other before all of this and had been in previous incarnations of different bands?
Yeah, well, you've always been in bands, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, not any bands together. But we kind of all knew each other. Well, Chris is really like the center point of the whole story. Like he knew Jimmy first, and then you met Callum, and then you met me, and then you kind of pulled everything together.
Yeah, I met them. I was doing lots of open mic nights in Milton Keynes, where we're from. There was quite a healthy open mic night circuit for a while, and about almost 10 years ago I met you, wasn't it?
Must have been, yeah.
Yeah. And then Jimmy was about the same, and then Dale's probably a little bit more recent. Dale, but Dale used to host a jam night at MK11, didn't you?
Yeah,
Local venue.
yeah. So we all met just kind of like on the
scene,
circuit,
really, just bumped into you. And if for me, it was like I knew one day I'd want to put a band together, so I was sort of trying to meet as many musicians as possible. And then
And these are the ones you chose?
I know, right?
Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Pickings around here.
Okay, so Dale, what's it like working with the rest of the gang? Because as drummer and literally backing vocal, because you'll be at the back of the stage the whole time, you can see him from an unusual angle that nobody else does.
Yeah, yeah, the rear angle. It's my favorite, especially for these guys. No, yeah, like they're amazing. Like I couldn't be luckier to be involved with them. I'm not joking. They're all fantastic and they all bring, something different to the table, which I think just makes an amazing band ultimately. So they're very lucky
Oh,
and privileged.
thanks, Dale. I've never heard him say that before, so that's quite sweet to hear.
That's sweet. We like that. That's all working well. And Callum, what's this mean to you?
It's just fun for me, to be
Yeah.
honest. It gives me a great opportunity to play with some really talented musicians and got to kind of express myself in lots of different ways. I get to play bass, I get to produce, and we're just sort of like it's a really fun team group. I really enjoy just the music. Start to
But I
finish.
mean, some the releases I think are a bit prolific would cover it, wouldn't it? There's been quite a lot of work coming out over the last few months.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's around the second album release, isn't it, Dale? Because
Yeah, I mean Chris is very prolific. Like he's the one that writes the initial like skeletons of the songs. And so there's always been a lot for us to work on. And but more recently, yeah, we've released the second album only as a physical product at this point. But we have released the first single.
we're going to be releasing some more tracks.
Yeah, and we're going to be releasing some more. Yeah.
Very soon.
But yeah, that we've got, we're just trying to do as much with it as we can. So we've got quite a lot going on, just sort of putting stuff out there. And it gives us an opportunity to reflect on previous releases as well. So we're still promoting like the previous album and the previous EP as well, which all works together nicely. Yeah, so it's good. But we've already recorded in March last year, we already recorded the third album and we were only just working on it. So it's
Is it
like
just Callum's really slow at producing?
No, well, there's a bit of a life story as well. It's like, I guess real world catches up with you. We got busy I've got busy at work, particularly me, and I've got little boy's about 2.5 years old, and obviously he's busy too. So making music's not as accessible as it was, but I'm trying doing my best to try and get back to making more time to do that. But it's lucky for the internet, you can have the appearance that you're busy all the time, right? Because you've got these, if you've got ads or posts going live and stuff, because you can schedule them, or just you get the impression that the band's constantly in the studio doing stuff, which I think is quite funny, because I see that around me all the time. If I look at other musicians and things and their posts are coming up, you think, are they always in the studio? Don't they work and stuff like that? But anyway,
I mean, we maybe not for the last little while, but we were like constant, like multiple times a week rehearsing and recording, and
yeah, especially in lockdown when we got together, it was like
Live gigs. Is that happening much at the moment?
Currently, right now, no, but we've got some things planned.
We've got a couple of gigs
in a few months.
in May. We'd like to get busier again, but again, it's all about what life can, how much space we can make to make it happen, and it's also getting the right opportunities, because it's kind of like you can get offered some gigs, and if it's not very well organized, or we have to organize it, and it's not near home and stuff, it can be quite difficult to make it all come together, if that makes sense. So
we're expecting a nationwide tour. Come on, you're tantalizing everybody with this work that you're doing at the minute. So we want to see you in real life.
we, you know what, it's the sort of thing we probably should organize.
We would love to do that. We did talk. The thing is yeah, like Chris was saying, sort of other life responsibilities and stuff has kind of got in the way a little bit, because we did talk about trying to organize a tour for this summer, but that hasn't really happened because there's been other things going on, and we would love to do that. And so if anybody would like to offer us a tour or gigs, or
it's just all the organizational bits.
Yeah, it's the work that goes with it. It's not just the turning up. And as an independent band, it tends to be what you have to do yourself. Okay, then tell us about the look of the band, because whenever I sneak through any pictures, one of you at least is wearing a lumberjack shirt pretty much the whole time. I've definitely got Callum in one at some points, although he's gone for the hoodie look today. There's usually at least one branded t-shirt, and for some reason, Chris, I mean, you're dressed like you should be outdoor in the smoking shelter at the moment.
it's a really good point. I probably could take for the aesthetic of the band. I should probably take my scarf.
I quite like the
You like
scarf.
the
I thought it was
scarf?
quite cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit moody.
But do you have so do you concentrate on the look? I mean, is that something you think about, or are you just comfortable expressing you?
It's a really good question. We have spoken a lot about the look of the band in the past, but we realised that the best thing to do is to wear what we love, really, what we like to wear anyway. And it might mean, yeah, it might mean going out and buying a new t-shirt if you've got a photo shoot coming up or a thing. But it's about just trying to buy the sort of thing you'd wear anyway, you know. So it might be a new version of the thing you'd wear anyway, but it's we try and make it natural, really, and organic, and sort of like
Yeah.
we at one point we did think about trying to stylize the band, but then it's weird. It's just it always looks a bit naff. It sounds like you're trying too hard.
Contrived.
Yeah,
Mm.
and you've got to be careful because where does that end up? You know, it's where's the limit on looking natural and looking unnatural and looking a bit too forced and stuff like that.
In the end, we found the natural overlap of where we all tend to sit anyway, and sort of found what have we all got in common style wise, and we kind of just went with that and made that.
Well, it's like there's a graduation of facial hair as well. Chris through to Jimmy, then Callum, and then really going for it, Dale.
Yeah.
You pay a lot
The
of
whole
attention to
spectrum.
our look, don't you? This is
I'm just picking up on where we are because it's what you share, and these are the things that we see about you online, and that's the joy. You've got control over this these days, haven't you? So you're almost making a product, but a product which has got roots and is meaningful.
Yeah. I think we tried, like at the beginning we were a bit unsure, so we went quite generic kind of indie band sort of stuff. And then and then when we did the EP, it was an acoustic EP, so we went kind of a bit more natural. We like all the photos we did like outside, like on a sitting on a log somewhere. And then for Finding Heaven, the second album that's just come out, it was kind of getting to who are we more so as individuals, and how, like Callum was saying, how does that overlap and kind of create the image of the band. And so I think that's the most like natural one at that point.
And it's also, but we realized it was about not trying too hard, but just wear what you think think's nice and it's close. If you were going to go out and buy a new t-shirt, what would that look like? And you just I think about how much you're going to try and buy a nice t-shirt goes for that, doesn't it?
We can't compete with like what's going on in the current world of media and music and stuff. Like a lot of these people that are coming out nowadays are very stylized.
But you don't sound like a designer band. I'm not expecting you to turn up in Gucci, but you turn up, an appropriate amount of molding clay in your hair and the t-shirt that you enjoy wearing.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that works because that's what we're kind of trying to go for.
Well, it's then the sound which is the important thing, which only playing a track from you will demonstrate. So, what would you like to share with the world now?
Really good question.
Well, I suppose the song that just came out was Happy Morning, but the song that's just about to come out is Call the
Police. And the best feedback we've had online has been from Call the Police out of the two tracks. Although personally, I love Happy Morning, but I think for some reason Call the Police seems to be doing.
So why don't we give an exclusive early bird Call the Police?
Yeah,
we can stick that on the radio for you. We'll do that now. So we'll sort that one out. Meanwhile, we require for those who are uninitiated all of your socials, please.
Right.
Dale.
Well, you're the admin guy.
it's either Wesson Music or Wesson Band on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X nowadays. And our website is wessonmusic.com, where you can
Wesson was because it was available or because there's meaning to it?
This guy's last name.
But it wasn't like, don't make it sound like I'm really vain, guys, because what it
could be worse. You could have been called Mangold Jackson, couldn't you, really, to be fair?
I pitched it, but no one listened.
Yeah. Dale's surname's Parker, which I think is a really cool name. That'd have been good. But no, the reason we called it Wesson was because my name's Chris Wesson, and that's what the band, it was a solo project to start with. And then we wanted to be a band, and we'd had it heard a couple of times. We had a manager at the time and someone else who worked with the band, and they all said, "Oh, Wesson would be a really good name for a band." And I wasn't sure, but then the guys all convinced me that they were quite happy to call the band Wesson at the time. So there we
And
are.
it means that when you then have T-shirts printed up for the band, you can send them off for a bulk wash when you're away on tour, and you know they're coming back to you because it's written on the bill at the hotel.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, that's a
Works
good
every
benefit.
time. Well, thank you for joining us for an attic. Keep up the good work. I know you've got a promotional CD which is available just by paying the postage and packing just at the moment. That's a little offer which you can check out online. Meanwhile, have a wonderful time with the music. I know we're all enjoying listening to it. We will now get involved with the police on your behalf. Wesson, thanks for joining us.
Thank you
Thanks
very
so
much.
much.
Cheers.
Nice to
Thank you,
meet you.
Jason. Thank you.
Wanna go out, need to clear my head again. Missing out, 'cause you need me everywhere. Anywhere I wanna be, you're controlling me. Help me, call the police. I'm living with a criminal, stealing my peace, leaving me miserable. I try to teach you how to reach a compromise, but you won't try. Forcing a smile's the best way to hide my loneliness. Breaking a sweat, making me choose your clothes to wear. Want us to live in harmony, but we're in a different key. Help me, call the police. I'm living with a criminal, stealing my peace, leaving me miserable. I try to teach you how to reach a compromise, but you won't try. You won't try. Try for me again. Try. Won't you ever learn? Try. You won't try. Won't you call the police? Call the police. Call the police. I'm living with a criminal. Call the police. I'm living with a criminal, stealing my peace, leaving me. I try to teach you how to reach a compromise, but you won't try.
Now, when I catch up with Gary A. Wales, it's usually about the work of Nevis Films, or one of the collaborations he's doing with one of the many other Scottish production houses. However, on this occasion, he's up to something completely mad. But it's to raise funds for charity in memory of his nana, for raising funds for Alzheimer's. Gary, tell us about your amazing charity event you've got on the way.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
Oh, good here. So you're crazily jumping out of a plane, aren't you?
I am, yes. This September, I'm going to be skydiving from St Andrews in Scotland at a 10,000 feet basically height, which is very nerve-breaking.
You can tell that just by talking about it. You were fine to actually mention the height you were going to be jumping from, and it's a tandem jump, isn't it?
It is a tandem jump, so I know I'm going to be perfectly safe and everything, you know. But I'm not doing it alone. I've got my good buddy Sean and Glenn that's going to be jumping with me in memory of my nana and for everyone else affected. So yeah, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. So we're currently raising funds for Alzheimer's Research UK. So they've been great. They've been working with me and Sean and Glenn to make everything a little bit more smoother. So
Mhm.
yeah,
But I mean, in it itself, obviously, reminiscing about somebody who you absolutely adored. I know she was a huge part of your life, and it was what back in 21, 22 when the disease was really coming to the fore in her life, and
right.
it's she was still there for you, and I know you spent happy times with her, even though it wasn't as easy as you'd have liked.
Yeah, I mean, it was a process. It was a lot of years of just watching the pain just slowly disappear. But it's a tough one. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for me. It's heartbreaking for my family, and of course, it's going to be heartbreaking for those that are affected with it as well.
Mhm.
So I mean, I saw my nana. I think I seen her last maybe like 2019, and my
Mhm.
mom would keep saying, "Do you want to come and see her?" And I said no because I don't want to remember her for the way that she is now. Um, but remember her for the good times and for the
Mhm.
entertainment times as well.
Mhm.
So
And the
um,
support, because she was one of your greatest champions too.
she was my number one from the very beginning. She always said, before I die, I want to see your name in lights, and I made that happen. So yeah, I've made one of her promises come true. So I'm just glad that she could watch some of that.
Well, I'd say doing this in her memory, raising funds for a truly worthy cause, and making a difference to others' lives. And I know that with Nevis Studios, I mean, the work that you do, you're very often highlighting social issues
Yes,
alongside providing entertainment. And
correct.
I'd be interested to see, because I mean, you've got enough camera crews around there. We want footage of you actually doing this skydive.
Absolutely. Yep, we are definitely going to be doing that. We're going to be getting that full footage from the ground up into the plane and then out the plane as well. You're going to see it all firsthand. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. There's going to be photos. There's going to be videos. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting.
Well, you've got a little while to get funds in, but now is the time people need to start donating, whether it's a quid, 2 quid, a fiver, or
Yeah.
whatever you can afford. Then it's well worth making a difference. And Alzheimer's doing, I say, amazing work. The research is so important, and hopefully finding a way of slowing, even if we can't reverse this truly
Yeah.
debilitating condition. So, where do we go to actually help to fund your charity event?
So for anyone, you can go to either my social media because I'm definitely sharing it right now, or you can head over to GoFundMe and just search up I think Gary Skydive for Nana,
Hmm.
and you should be able to find it. But you should be able to find it on my social media at Gary A Wales.
Yep.
So
And there'll be links via the Nevis Studios pages as well, I'm absolutely sure, because
yes,
obviously the many colleagues that you have there will no doubt want me to support you and the rest of the boys who are doing what you're doing.
absolutely.
And
Yep,
as I say,
absolutely.
it's going to be absolutely huge. Well, rather you than me is what I will say. But
Yeah.
I mean, one other question: what would your nana think of this? Would she think it go on, Gary, or should be a little worried for you? I'm sure.
She would kick my arse if she found out that I was doing this.
So an act of rebellion, but one in a good cause.
Yes. Yeah, she would definitely I don't know, she'd probably slap me across the ear and tell me no. You're
But
stupid. So, but no, she's going to be watching and she's going to be supporting me and rooting for me the entire time. So,
you
I am
know that.
nervous, don't get me wrong, but yeah, if Tom Cruise can do it, I can do it. You know.
Absolutely. Wait, search for Gary A. Wales on the socials. Check out Nevis Studios, and there'll be links from there. And we look forward to talking to you about some of the amazing film work that you'll have in the not too distant future. Meanwhile, for now, Gary, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's your lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me back with episode 819 next week. I'll see you then. Ta for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.